brothers.
Of course, on there they say it's made with corn. They do a high rye content, giving it the high rye. I said imparting. It's funny they say it's imparting spice, complexity, and balance. And I was like, I think it's complicated for them to balance this, because I don't think it's balanced at all. I don't think it's all that great. It's better. It tastes better today than it did yesterday, and I think it's just because I've had other things. But
it's because we had a really good lunch.
We did.
You drink enough of that thing, you'll start being a furry there at the. You'll go to school and become a furry.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy it again.
Those things got to smell like the inside of a gym sock.
Furries?
Those nasty suits. And those
fruity uniform.
You mean like bureaucrats?
Costumes?
Yeah.
Nasty suits.
Yeah.
So you've heard about the furries, right?
Yeah,
they're in there biting and licking people.
Yeah, they're biting, touching, and licking people.
Isn't that a Journey song?
They're kids.
Biting.
No, it's touching, loving, squeezing.
Licking. Oh.
So, but they were.
I was
on
in
X.
Vegas and saw one of those, and those people are weird,
dude.
When they have sex and they're in their costumes, they call it whiffing.
Well, I'm sure it's a whiff of something, but when he was setting up and everything, there was a deal on X. And there was these kids. The reporter was talking to them, because the kids, which are in like elementary school, walked out of school because of the furries. They can't touch them, they can't hit back or bite back or anything like that. The furries they can do whatever they want to the other kids, but the other kids can't retaliate. So the kids got up and walked out of school. We're talking elementary age kids.
Good.
Yeah. No shit, really good. But the thing is like the school is taking the side of these fucking crazy,
because the school board
furries
and blah blah blah.
But that's what schools have always done. They've always taken the side of the extremists. So if you had children in school who were disruptive and caused issues, we can't send them away. We've got to protect them, and we've got to cater to them, and we've got to try to make their lives better, as opposed to, what about all the kids that want to be there and learn and do good?
Yeah, well.
We were watching this, me and Mrs. Duane, we was watching a show on Netflix called Unlocked, right? And it's about a detention prison cell thingy. And what they were doing, instead of locking them down 23 hours and letting them out for an hour,
I saw a few.
They were giving them free reign.
Yeah.
And then there were a handful of them that were, quite disruptive. A handful of them that wanted to follow the rules so that they could have the freedoms that they were getting. And a handful of them that weren't. And then they were like, we've got to try to reel in and rein in.
And it was the young guys.
It
was all the young ones that didn't want to follow the fucking rules.
No, there was a couple of oldies too. One old dude was making
all
the hooch. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that one. And
so, but, and it was the white dude that was, making hooch and the burning incense and wicks and crap like that. So, and I didn't think he was young. I don't know what constitutes young anymore.
Yeah, I don't know.
And what constitutes old anymore.
Well, based on that, I mean, if you're in that setting, it was those guys that were 45 and older, that was the old,
old,
and
OG.
30, that 35 to 40 they can go either way, being old or young, and then 35 down, they're the young one.
But it was that younger white guy doing the tattoos and the hooch was getting them in trouble, and then there was that one older black man who was making the hooch that got them all busted.
Yep.
And they almost lost all of their. But
so
again,
I didn't go that far, so I hadn't seen that. But
it goes back to, in school, where you've got the troublemakers, and then you got the kids that just want to do what they're supposed to do and get through the day.
Right.
But all the troublemakers always get catered to, and they always get all of the attention and all of the leeway, shall we say, so that they're the ones dictating how school is actually run. And what would be nice is if they took just these handful of, if you got a class of 20 kids and you got 2 troublemakers, who gets all the attention? It's the 2 troublemakers. Kick the 2 troublemakers out.
They suck up all the
resources.
Yep.
They're resource hogs, whether it be the teacher's attention or just whatever.
Post-birth abortion.
Late term.
Very late term.
Yeah.
So
50
anyway,
trimester.
that's what these Furbies.
Well, you know what? And then,
whatever we call them.
So there was another part of that. You know, they had the issues with that one guy, and it's like, okay, they took matters in their own hands. They basically went into the cell, was out of shot of the camera, and they pretty much put him in line. When he came out, he was a little bit different, you know.
Which one? Was this the old white guy?
Yeah, the old white guy.
That dude was weird.
Oh, yeah, he was just fucking weird.
Well, there was another one. You haven't gotten to the other one when they bring in. Okay.
I haven't got that far yet.
I'll leave you alone.
I was watching it, and I was
interesting.
Like,
it's interesting.
So far, what was I got off of it because it kind of, you know, after a while, it's like I could only watch so much of that, but then it was like, it's like all of these people now, they're, you know, there's these personalities, you know, they all, you know, they got to tell the story about this guy. He's got to tell him, you know, about them. Now he wants to be a fucking movie star. It's like, dude, you know, you're doing the fucking same. You're doing time. You're a fucking convicted felon. I'm not saying you're a bad guy, but you are a convicted felon. You know, let's point that out right away.
Which kind of is a delimiter.
Well, some of them were not actually convicted. Not in this scenario. They were in a detention, so awaiting trial and things of that nature.
You're correct. Yeah.
They weren't in a federal pen or. So
they were in a holding. This is all in.
It was a holding facility.
Was it? I forget what county. They're in Arkansas.
Something with a P.
Polinsky or
yeah.
Anyways, it was pretty good to watch. I thought it was fucking pretty bold. I wonder who really created that. I wonder if the sheriff actually created that concept, or if it was you know. Hey, you got to talking with with some movie.
I don't know. They were talking about how it was in European countries, where how their facilities were running.
I tell you what, there's one that's on YouTube, and I wish I knew exactly where it was at. I put it up there as a link because there's one that's a Japanese prison, and that is the cleanest fucking prison I've ever seen. And the way that they get up, they don't have the luxuries of TV and all that stuff. They get up, they do their, you know, they're sleeping on, you know, tatami mats, and just, it's like a normal Japanese, anything, you know, they scrub it down, they clean it head to toe, you know, all of these things that they do is just immaculate. And they, when they get in trouble, they're in, like if they're in solitary, they only have 2 ways they can sit. They either sit like down on their heels with their knees down, or they sit like with their legs crossed, and they sit there all day long. And they all day. That's what they do in solitary confinement. So it's not, you're not necessarily locked up in a room, but you're locked up in a room and you have to sit in that stance. And if you break it, then that just starts putting fucking days on your time. You know,
what is one of the military prisons? There's the floors white tiles except for one.
Yeah, so that was like that was like the active duty correctional facilities. I had a roommate. He spent like fucking 60 days in one of those. He said he never ever wants to go back do that again. Stay in a position of tension all day. So yeah,
That should make it painful.
I think it was called like a CFC or something like that.
Pain to the brain.
Or a correctional facility.
Yeah, lockup should not be pleasant.
No, it shouldn't. I mean,
And that unlocked it. I love this place. This is great. I mean, yeah, I don't want to be locked up, but this place is my favorite. They're getting free phone calls.
oh, I know.
Free run of the
They
place.
just walk up and start
All the
making phone calls.
visitations they could ask for.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of like, okay, this is just getting stupid. But
Why be locked up? Why be locked up? Why lock them up if
So-
you're just going to give them all
so
the freedom?
now we're going to bring it back. So what if
Furs.
what if you're locked up and you're a furry?
Well,
wouldn't
then
be
you'd
able-
be like
you-
any other
Would it be
animal
like
out
the-
there.
you know, if
It'd
you-
be
Yeah, but they can't wear the outfit.
We'd call it a feedlot.
What if you're like, that's like you're being in,
You get
is
passed
like being
around
a pound?
like a pack of smokes.
It's like being in a pound. You
No.
know?
I'd want to go in there with a riding crop. And I'd be telling the teachers, I'm just trying to tame this wild beast.
I'm starting with you.
There you go.
So I have a furry story.
I want to domesticate this furry right
so,
here.
So if we got time to we have time for, I got a furry story.
To tell it.
All right. So, in the military, there's a lot of freaky ass people.
I can't believe
What?
Yeah. And so I'm trying to think how I can. Okay, so I was stationed at a location, and we had a guy that was supposed to PCS there, and it's like,
acronym extension, please.
he was a guy. He was a
PCS.
He was okay. Personal. Was it permanent change of station?
Okay.
Right? Am I right? That's right. So he's PCS into another location. So he was on the Gaines roster, and I was in the meeting every day, and it's like, okay, I said, why does this guy get pushed off? He's like 60 days over.
Did you know a guy set himself on fire at the Trump rally?
I saw that. It was on fucking YouTube. I saw that.
Not to
That
change
airman?
the topic.
Yeah.
No.
The airman, he fucking said, I think it was an airman.
That
set
was
himself-
a while back. This happened this morning.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that.
Well, there you go.
So this guy, he was 60 days overdue, on his PCS, and I'm like, what's going on with this guy? And they're like, oh, well, he got delayed at least 30 because they went to go pick up his household goods. The transportation did, the movers, and the movers walked in the house and walked out of the house and refused to move his furniture and stuff. It was so filthy, his house. And his everything was so filthy, and I was like, "That is just." First of all, it was just like I could not understand how that could happen. It was. I was trying to figure out how bad was it really, because I've seen them when I've PCS before. They've taken the trash and picked it up and put it in a box, boxed it up, taped it up, threw it on a truck. So I mean, it's like, how filthy was it? But so anyways, the guy finally shows up, a few weeks later, and he shows up, comes to work, and he's got his little kid with him. And I'm like, where's his, his sponsor was one of my troops. And it was like, I was like, why is this kid here? Why is his kid with him? He's got to be in processing. And like, oh, well, his wife and other kid didn't come with him. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, what is going on? Anyways, so that was another problem with him. So we try to mitigate that. One day we were, I saw he had a deployment patch, and he had deployed before. And so I reached out to a buddy of mine that wore the same patch, and I was like, hey, I said, do you know this guy? And immediately, of course, I'm overseas, and of course, my buddy, he's stateside. He calls me right away. He's like, dude, he goes, you're not going to believe this. That guy's a furry. And I'm like, what the fuck is a furry? Like he believes they believe that they're cats. And I'm like, you're kidding me. And he's telling me all about it. And he goes, oh yeah. He goes, they're fucking filthy as shit, you know. And I was like, that explains why he didn't get his shit picked up, because it was fucking filthy, like a cat litter box probably. And then he told me all about it, and I thought it was crazy. But then the couple of days later, we were getting ready to go out on a mission, and I heard this. I was like, what the hell? Is that a cat? Because you could hear this cat meowing, just going, meow, meow. And it's like, what? And the hell? Turns out it wasn't the guy. It was the guy's like 6-year-old daughter doing that. And I'm like, yeah. I was just like, this is sickening. All these kids think they're fucking cats, and they grow up.
Are you enjoying yourself?
He is.
Really is.
He is. He's honing that down.
God almighty.
But yeah, it's fucking retarded. It's sick. There was another guy that was on deployment. It wasn't on my deployment. It was another rotation, but he thought he was a wolf, and he would pee on everything. He hike his leg and piss on everything, and he was saving his urine, and he put it he'd empty water bottles, and he would stack them in a wall locker, you know. And of course, they wind up getting, you know, they did a health and welfare inspection, and it's like, okay, dude, you're being redeployed. We're going.
That's your military. This is your military.
Yeah, and he probably got out on a fucking Section 8, you know, wacko shit, you know.
Yeah, it's like the one they said that the dude was in training and he was always dribbling a basketball. And he would never stop dribbling the basketball. And they finally said, all right, you're just nuts. We're getting you out of here. And so he's dribbling his basketball, and then they get him to the gates, and he's dribbling his basketball. They walk him outside. He takes his basketball, and he puts it down. And they're like, what are you doing? I don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
Weren't.
Yeah. That's what Klinger did.
No, he stayed in.
Wow.
And eventually he quit wearing the dresses.
Did he?
Yeah, near the end of it, yeah.
Yeah.
He became regular Army because he married a chick.
Oh, I have to go back and look at that.
You have to go back and look at that.
People, younger people listen to the program and be like, who the fuck is Klinger? Go check it out.
Tommy, you want to show us your furry?
No. My furry ass, maybe.
I think that's what he was talking about.
Reed Brothers.